All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to my visual arts channel, Stractify. We are in the middle, we're in the midst of our series on perspective drawing, and we're still in the first stage of three-point perspective, where the third vanishing point is at the top of the page above the horizon line. So based on this diagram with boxes below the horizon line, straddling the horizon line, sitting right on the horizon line, and then above the horizon line, this is what we've got so far. And this is what this model looks like in three-point perspective. So let's pay attention to a few things. The box, a few simple things, but crucial things that you'll see that apply across the board throughout three-point perspective and all the other perspective techniques. As long as the boxes or the objects, the bases of the objects are parallel to the horizon line or the ground plane, all things, I guess, being equal, this is basically what you're going to get. All right, so your box below the horizon line, you will only be able to see the top. You will not be able to see the bottom, even if there was no ground plane here. Let's imagine that this box is hovering in the air and you're still using this as your horizon line. You still won't be able to, of course, you won't be able to see the bottom, okay, because of your vantage point. Again, the horizon line represents your vantage point or your eye level, okay, as well as the ground plane. But let's say you don't have a ground plane, then it'll just represent your eye level. And based on your eye level, this box being here, you'll only be able to see the top of it. All right, this box being right here, positioned right here, straddling the horizon line, you will only see the sides, you will not see the top, you will not see the bottom. This, you don't see the bottom or the top, but this is anomalous to me. It's probably not an anomaly, but I'm not crazy about doing perspective drawings with your box right, like sitting on top of the horizon line. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me in a lot of ways, so that's what happens when you do that, okay? So of course you have the flat base, and then you don't see the top, but you do see the sides, all right? And then any box that is above the horizon line, you see the base of the box, you do not see the top of the box. You see the base and you see at least one side, one or more sides, but you do not see the top of the box. And what I'll do, just to drive that point home, is I'm just going to just shade the base of this box real quick. Just quickly shade it. It'll probably be kind of messy because I'm doing it real fast. Trying to save on time with the video. I don't want it to be too long. Okay, so that's what you'll get. And another thing too is, another very important thing is when you have the third vanishing point up in the air like that, above the horizon line at the top of the page, in essence what you're getting is you're getting the ground, the worm's eye view. You're getting a ground shot. Okay, so basically you're on the ground looking up. So if you're in a city or in a town with some tall buildings, basically you're the person on the ground looking up, and basically what you will be seeing will be, the effect you'll be getting will be the three-point perspective effect, with the vanishing point being at the top of the page or elevated or above the horizon line. Okay, so basically this is a worm's eye view that we're getting, or a ground view. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and repeat this whole process, but we're going to now do it in color. Okay, so we'll repeat this whole process, and we'll do it in color. Hopefully it goes faster since I've already explained everything. And so I will not be using my pencil and pen. I will be using some other pens. I will be using these colored paper mates that I got. And this is like, how many are in this? 18 pens. I got this for like $3.50, $4.50 at Target. And I like the colors that I got from this. And this is perfect for this video. So I've already gone and picked out the colors that I'm going to be using. All right, so I'm going to be using a light blue, a light green, and an orange. And what I'm going to do is I'll use these for the construction lines, and then at the end I will outline each box with, so for the blue I'll outline with dark blue, for the green I'll outline with dark green, and then for the orange I'm going to outline with red. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and jump right into it, and depending on how much time I've got, I may or may not do more than one box. All right, but I'm not trying to rush anything, so we'll see what happens. We'll do what we can. What I'll do is I will take the black pen and lay out our horizon line, and I'm going to bring it a little lower this time. A little lower than the last one. Or you know what, let me make it the same as the last one, so when I put them side by side, I can just line them up. So let's do that. Let's do that instead. Let's take that into consideration. So I'm going to do the exact same process, but the composition is going to be very different. It's not going to be the exact same composition, but we will hint, the same thing will happen in terms of the positions of the boxes. And that's sort of the point. I definitely want you guys to see that. Put this over here. All right, let me get going. All right, so for the first box, and I'm going to start, I'm going to start with the box that straddles. I'm going to start with this box this time. That's what I'm going to do, because I can. So it's my HL, HL, and since I have this set up, you see how that looks on camera. Let me bring this out a little bit. So I'm going to put my vanishing point. No, I'll keep my vanishing point within the boundaries. So VP1, VP2. Okay, so there's something I want to show you later on with regards to the vanishing points, so I will save what I was about to do was bring these vanishing points out a little bit for a specific reason, but I'll cover that later. So I'm going to put the vanishing point way out here this time, more to the right. It was more to the left last time, so I'll put it more to the right. So that'll be VP3 right there. All right. Okay, and I'll start with the blue pen. And we are going to lay out the base of a box. I'm going to go for like a low. I want to put that box somewhere here. Okay, slightly wider base. Come here. Okay, so one thing I want you to be aware of, see where that corner is about to be, in relation to that corner. You really want to keep them as far apart as possible to avoid some of the problems I ran into the last time. So this here and this here, both headed this way. They should not touch each other. So I'm going to go with that. So I'm going to go with a nice wide base, just like that. And again, I'm going to label it, and I'm going to go clockwise this time. So let's A, B, C, and D right there. Okay. I'm going to go get my long ruler. This is a point right here. So C to vanishing point 3. And I'm going to just make sure that that's, mark that as line C. And then B to V3. A to V3. So real quick, I marked vanishing point 3, but I hit it a little inaccurately. So I'm just continuing to hit the point that is that I'm hitting a new VP3 right now. I'm just trying to keep it consistent because I didn't hit it exactly. And let me explain this better. I marked vanishing point 3 here. When I projected my first line, I didn't hit it accurately. So wherever I hit, whatever point I hit, I'm making sure that all the other corners hit that exact same point rather than the one I marked. And that's the new VP3. Okay, so got that out of the way. So this is D, line D. This is line A. This is line B. I'll just put that there. And we've got C already. Okay, so with that being done, I'm going to go ahead and mark the height of the box from the back edge. Again, I don't know if I explained this before, but my instinct is to, whenever I'm determining the height of my boxes, is to determine it from the back edge, okay? The back vertical edge, and then work forward. That's not an absolute. If you have a preference for doing it from the front and working backwards, that's perfectly fine. This is just my little idiosyncrasy that works for me. So once I establish that, I connect to vanishing point 1, strike a line straight through that point. Do that again. Working with a pen, so I see my mistakes. And that becomes the new D1. Hopefully this is showing up clearly. Let me make sure. Sorry about the shaking. There we go. All right, and then once I get D1, D to C via vanishing point 2. Right there. Okay, so D1 to line C. Okay. Oh, that's a mistake. That's a mistake. I made a mistake. I'm supposed to be... D1 to line C, that is C1. So let's disregard this. It's going to look ugly on screen, but let's disregard that. That's a boo-boo. And then from C1, C to B, C1 to line B. That gives us B1. All right, then from B1 to vanishing point 1, B1 to vanishing point 1, and that's B to A, B to A right there. All right. So if I'm doing everything correctly, from V2 through A1, that should connect right to D1, and oh boy, yeah, that's a little bit off. Okay, I'm gonna rule it anyway. I'm gonna mark it anyway, because as my rule goes, the rule I've given myself is to let the mistakes show in the process. That's part of the learning process, so I'm going to keep it in there. All right, let's darken the line. Kind of overshot that point. It's okay. I practice what I preach. Use my short ruler. All right. So, okay, I don't want to dot them in. I probably won't dot them in for the other colors, but for this one, I think I probably need to dot it in, put the dots in there, just to highlight things a little bit and also show off that mistake that was made there. All right, so there's that. I'll leave that. Or not leave it, I'll get that one done, that inner edge and this inner edge. There we go. So that's what we got going on there. And this, something about this point is off, which might mean this might be off. Anyway, we can look at that later. Look at the timing on that. All right, so that's our first box straddling the horizon line. I'm going to leave it at that, and we will do the next box in the next video. All right, I will see you guys. I'll see you guys then.